Do this shit until they murder me.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another World of Tanks console video. My name is Xenozach, and today's video will be something different and something new that comes to my channel. Today's video will be a discussion video about one of the recent updates for World of Tanks console. Now for those of you who had recently watched my World of Tanks console update 4.5 update video that I did with the WP, a lot of you may have skipped towards the end of that video and just wanted to hear what some of the overall thoughts between DWP 1992 and myself as community contributors as well as just players of the game. Now, first and foremost, I just want to point out that these are all opinions, my own opinions based for myself, and do not reflect anything of the sort for the entire community or anything from Wargaming themselves. I just want to get a video out to make sure that I express at least some concerns that I have with some of the things I've been noticing in World of Tanks console that has happened recently with the introductions of the Mercenaries. So first and foremost, for those of you who don't know, World of Tanks console had its big 4.5 update just recently within the past 2 weeks of the release of this video. Now, one of the concerns that I've had, and I brought this up in the video itself, is where does World of Tanks console see itself going? Because recently, with their additions with War Stories and now the Mercenary line, they've definitely separated themselves from what World of Tanks PC has kind of set itself up as. Now, World of Tanks console has always stated that they don't want to be considered kind of, living under Big Brother's shadow for the rest of their lives. They want World of Tanks console to shine by itself, and I completely agree with that. I've been playing World of Tanks console for 4 years. I've been playing since the beta of World of Tanks console on the 360, and currently have my Xbox One, and I play the game on a weekly basis. I don't know, I don't remember the exact battle count, is 20,000 plus, and I've grown to love and enjoy the game even through all the sometimes ridiculous games that I have, or the rest of the community can definitely agree that some of the stuff that goes on in World of Tanks console isn't necessarily the best, but I still find some enjoyment in this. Now, when War Stories was originally introduced, a lot of people had negative reaction to it, and just an overall kind of different feedback for Wargaming themselves into saying, well, why is this being introduced? Why aren't we getting what PC gets? And as always, World of Tanks console does get everything PC gets, or most of their changes, but applied to what the console version is. Whether that be good or bad, those are community opinions as well. But they do receive these updates when they reach their server versions. People don't seem to understand that, no matter how far we go into updates. As soon as something on PC comes out, I know I'm a huge fan of Quickie Baby and Jingles. They post a video about an update for PC, and immediately, hey, when are we getting this on console? Not trying to apply anything that console has already going for it. Now, War Stories, getting back to War Stories, it was definitely a good addition and a great step for World of Tanks console to start stepping out of the shadow of World of Tanks PC and start trying to step into their own unique version of World of Tanks. We've gotten some console exclusive tanks over the years, some still console exclusive maps. Weather variants is also a cool addition to World of Tanks console that PC does not run on their version of World of Tanks, and that makes it feel even better that World of Tanks console is standing out with uniqueness compared to its PC counterpart. Now, we're going into a whole new edition of this with update 4.5, where we're getting tanks that PC hasn't even thought of introducing into their game, which in a sense is still very, or should be commended to World of Tanks console development team, that they decided to do something that the community as a certain group in the community had suggested that they did, and they liked it, they ran with it, and lo and behold, this is what the Mercenary tech tree will be comprised of. And again, they've taken an even further step away from what World of Tanks PC has done, and again stepping into it, and I feel like this is a great turning point for World of Tanks console to not only not be considered just another PC replica on console, but to have its own unique version of the game. This definitely feels like a great step in that direction. That is a positive thing. However, with update 4.5 and over the recent months with World of Tanks console, we've always had people in the community bring up, hey, with the server merger, there is no longer NA East or NA West. There's only in North America. PC did this a while back, so more than likely we were supposed to get that, and sure enough, that ended up happening, which helped the community or helped World of Tanks itself have more shorter queue times with the amount of increased player, just having them connect to one server. Players didn't like that. Some still don't, and I know there's still a lot of issues for the World of Tanks console to work out. However, that again is just their own when they get to it. We just have to wait. Again, we're players, not a development team developing this game. So, moving into the Mercenary line again, and I know I will be jumping around a lot. I'm trying not to lose my train of thought. I have kind of like a notepad in front of me just to keep this, so you'll have to excuse me if I do go off topic quite a little bit. So with update 4.5, the Mercenary line, again, community created tanks. Not all were more tweaked to what the community had specified. I don't know if this is, hey, this is the current, let me bring up the tech tree here. Oh, wrong button. This is the Caboose, Tier 3. This was created by player such and such. The Needle at Tier 4, created by such and such. The Bulwark, so on and so forth. And as you can see, the layout of this tech tree isn't connected like any of the normal tech tree that we're kind of used to with all the other nations. The Mercenary tech tree is kind of like the premium tech tree, where it's just set out on its own. The tanks are in that position because of their tier, and not interconnected where you have to grind from this tank to the next tank to the next tank. It's literally just in that format, so you guys can see that, hey, these tanks are here. This is what it's for. Now, again, none of it was kind of credited to specific players. I think that would have been cool if they had included some of that. Hey, the Caboose was suggested by this player, and give that player kind of a shout out. Not naming the mercenary crews after them, but just, hey, this player, these list of players helped create this tank. It would have been a great shout out to the community itself, and would have kind of given the mercenary a little bit more of a community feel. Community effort feel that it kind of should have had with the impact that the Mercenaries did. Now, as I said, each of these mercenary tanks, when we pull this up, I'll pull up the Caboose first, it's the Tier 3. Each of these tanks has a unique look, but not a foreign look, because they're parts from other tanks. They're the hull, the chassis, the gun, they're from different tanks that currently exist in the game, so it's easier for them to create, and PC could probably replicate the same thing. However, again, we're focusing on console here. And each of these tanks, as they progress, don't look anything like what you're used to. They have unique designs. They have a unique taste or flavor or whatever word you would like to use to describe them that make them feel cool and a need for a player to grind them out. And each of them has their strengths. Each of them will have a weakness. As you can see, again, going through, this is the Tier 5. You can see, it just feels cool to be able to just go through. Some of them aren't currently available, but we do still get to see their designs, some of their modules, their armor layout. But again, you can see that they're all cool and unique in their own way, and it kind of feels like, hey, we're shouting out to this nation and so on and so forth, and that reflects in their contract system. And this goes along with, according to Jeff Gregg, if I remember correctly, saying that currently the mercenary line might seem barren. It might seem, a little bit kind of empty compared to the rest of the tech trees. However, expect the mercenary tech tree to pretty much expand, because when they had originally started, there was a plethora of vehicles for them to choose from. But with balancing the balancing factor coming into play, a lot of them were kind of reduced down and tested out so that they can be introduced into the console environment. Now, along with the mercenary update, of course, we get a way to earn these tanks. Now, before I say earn these tanks, I want to ask you a question, and I want to pose this question to Wargaming if, for whatever reason, you guys do manage to watch this video. Who was the mercenary tech tree introduced for? That's a simple question. You guys can comment down below at this time for the video, but who do you think the mercenary tech tree was implemented into this game for? In my opinion, implemented for the veterans of the community, and that is, again, my opinion. I don't know if that's what Wargaming had decided on. I don't know if that was their target, but that was the feel of it, just going through each of the current contracts currently available. Each contract has 8 stages currently, and that should be the layout according to the mercenary release article that we went over in update 4.5, that each of them should have 8 stages. However, as you're seeing on screen here, each of these tanks, although earnable, is purchasable. Each mercenary tank that is currently available is purchasable for a set gold amount. Gold in World of Tanks console can be purchased with real in-game or real-time money, relative to wherever you live in the world. Real currency that you can then translate into purchasing any mercenary tank line. That kind of feels like a shot in the face to any veteran and player, myself included. I spend enough money in this game. I earn my, you can see from the count days, I have 460 days for premium time, 42,000 free experience introduced, 11 million silver, and that's because I've purchased tanks over there. And you can even see I still have gold left over on my account from prior purchase. I am a very dedicated veteran player. But why does it feel like this wasn't only introduced for us? Because World of Tanks console development team wanted to also make sure that anybody who is new to this game has a fighting chance at trying out one of these tanks. And this comes into my first kind of issue that I have with the mercenaries. Why are the tanks purchasable? That is a question that Wargaming should try to answer in a very monotone type of situation, because I don't know if anyone else in the community feels this way, if anyone else has made a video about this, but why are tanks straight out purchasable that is a new tech tree with gold, with real money, when the target of this should have been veteran players, people who have 90 to 100% of this game currently unlocked? And if you don't believe me, again, the contracts for these tanks, they're not simple contracts that a new player can do. Some of them require you to kill higher tier vehicles. They require specific tank lines, tech tree tank lines that you can use from different nations. They require you to use specific guns, a certain amount of experience, so many battles in a row. These are tasks that should be accomplishable by a medium, your average player, to your veteran players that are currently in the player base. However, to make it fair, or that maybe that was their intention, if a new player came in, they can outright purchase this vehicle, not knowing anything about the rest of the game, just coming straight to the tech tree. Hey, this tank here cost, I don't know the exact gold conversion for this. This exact tank will cost me $10 to own, or $20 to currently purchase, play a tier 3 tank, or go all the way up down to a tier 7. 15,000 gold, which is one of the most highest non-premium, even premium vehicle cost in gold. These tanks, the tier 7 mercenary tanks, cost as I believe the only thing that comes close to my current memory is the Fatherland, which is again over 15,000 gold. That is a ridiculous price for vehicles that, may I remind you guys, does not count as a premium vehicle. They do not come with premium vehicle bonuses. They come with a crew that has loaded perks on them, sure, but they do not have crew bonuses. These tanks play the exact same way that your other tanks, tech tree tanks, play. They do not earn you extra silver, they do not earn you extra experience in battle. They simply come with crews loaded onto them that are already pre-trained with certain skills. Why? Why does that feel a little bit, again, like a slap in the face to the veteran players? Because again, we already have tier 8 vehicles that do this, that are purchasable, that go on sale, that you guys get personally recommended for a flash sale that Wargaming decides to throw at you guys. Or, I've had a couple pop up on me recently, which I own most of the tanks they try to throw at me anyway. But why does it feel like, or why was there a necessity to sell these tanks for gold? If a new player came into this game prior to update 4.5 and they wanted to progress to anything above tier 3, tier 3 is accomplishable with, for any line, 20 battles. You can be a complete noob in this game, come in, 20 battles will get you to a tier 3 with the amount of experience that you can earn without premium. That is far less than what the current entry price for the caboose is. Which, again, I don't remember the exact currency, but let's say $15. Buy a tier 3. You're automatically a tier 3. What does this kind of remind you of? That makes World of Tanks console, currently with the Mercenaries, or the way the Mercenary is structured, pay to win. I never thought I would say this, but whoever decided this, whether this be the PR department for World of Tanks, or Wargaming, the console, you guys are on borderline with that. I have no problem with skipping a section of a contract for gold. That seems fine. But outright purchasing them seems kind of pay to win, because you can purchase any of these tanks coming into this game without playing a single battle, just purchasing a mercenary vehicle with no prior knowledge of the game. That in itself says you don't care, in a sense, about your community. You just want the money. And if that's really the case, something has to be reevaluated here. Again, in my opinion, when the mercenary line was first announced, update 4.5, a lot of players still weren't aware of what was going to be in update 4.5. Even though they had said we're targeting mercenaries to come out around this time, which was going to be the update 4.5 leading up to that. Everything seemed pretty cool. We were going to get cool new tanks. Not new tanks that we can pay gold for, with no premium benefits. A tank that does not have premium benefits should not be up for sale for real-time money, regardless if it comes with a crew, that comes with perks, and again, for the target demographic of the game, veteran players, having to just, hey, I have gold, I can spend money, let's fish for more money. That's honestly what it feels like. And again, if I come across negative, I'm not trying to be. I'm trying to simply give feedback on the way this is structured. Look at the amount of experience I currently have on this account. 42,770. This is my personal account. That's a bunch of free experience that I have accumulated over, I think, 2 weeks of playing. Not even 2 weeks, because there was a 4 times multiplier for the 4th of July. A lot of that was actually accumulated over a week of playing. Again, I have premium time. I accumulate more experience than most players. Chances are most of your veteran players have premium time and are taking advantage of bulking up on free experience. Why can these vehicles be introduced and sold for free experience? Something that World of Warships does with a few of their ships. You earn the amount of free experience that it requires for that, or you can convert, which again will still lead into paying for, the crew conversion. You still need to have experience, free experience, saved away, but you can use gold to convert that into standard free experience to research any tank. This can still be a great mechanic for, again, players who don't want to grind through it, but can, sorry about that, but can earn the tanks through free experience means. Now the contracts are still great. They're challenging. Some of them are a bit annoying. I will admit that. I have currently have the stubs. Um, it was a little bit of a challenge to get, even for me, for a veteran player, but it's not something that I'm incapable of doing, or most people, again, because of the way the contracts are structured, shouldn't be able to do. I've seen many players who've gone all the way to the tier 7, wanted that right off the bat. You can pick any contract, doesn't matter what tier it is, any contract from the mercenary tech tree, and earn that tank, as well as just purchasing them. Now that there's specific, again, phases that you can skip through for a certain amount of gold, and I believe, again, Jeff Gregg elaborated this on his their release video for Mercenaries, which the total amount of gold that you use to skip through a phase will not exceed the total amount of gold for the price of the tank. So even though the current price of it is 3,260 for the tier 3 caboose as an example, you will not spend more than the 3,260 gold to skip through each phases and additionally just get the tank. You will pretty much use that a percentage of that for skipping a phase, and the higher the stage of that mercenary contract, the more you spend from that. But it should not exceed the total amount that tank costs in gold, which again, still don't like that, and I don't know if that doesn't come across as a genuine dislike of the game. I like the way the mercenaries they look, they're unique, they come into the game, but the implementation of this makes it feel that wargaming is having some communication issue, or just internally not knowing what they wanted the mercenaries to be. Other than a pay-to-win tech tree. It is. It's premium ammunition has always been described as pay-to-win. However, you can purchase it with silver. That's a balancing factor. People still need silver in order to be able to fire premium, but it's not inacquirable. These tanks for the mercenaries, for veteran players, they can earn them, but again, for someone that is new to the game, a fresh account that does not have any free experience, does not have, this is their first time loading into this game, jumps into the game and is like, I want a tank, they can purchase a premium vehicle with real money, but premium vehicles, as I've stated before, come with premium bonuses. Your mercenary tanks do not. I don't know how many times I can bring that up or reiterate what I'm saying. It's just more of a why. Maybe they can elaborate on that sometime in the future, but as for what, probably we won't see any current changes to the game. I'm not saying I have that kind of effect. No, by far means. Being a community contributor doesn't mean I automatically can dictate what happens in a game, nor can the entire player base. Wargaming does what they want with the game. We get to play it, and if we dislike something, we can give feedback, and that's simply what this video will be titled. Honest feedbacks on the mercenary. What are some changes do I think that can balance this out? Again, the mercenary tech tree should be targeted towards your veteran players. It doesn't feel right that you can purchase these with gold, and I feel like the current gold cost of these tanks should be removed and be placed as earning free experience with the mercenaries as an additional option from just the contracts, rather than gold. Using free experience to purchase a tank is still a way for wargaming to, again, still have a chance for anyone who wants to purchase the vehicle outright. Again, you can convert free experience with gold, or again, for even a new player that doesn't have premium, a way or a goal to set themselves up with, hey, the contracts are a little bit hard, they're a little bit out of my way, let me just bulk up the 2 times experience I have and just save up free experience. Because again, you can do that by just doing your daily doubles. That free experience can stack up the same way. Takes longer, but it can still be acquirable to players that are new. But it forces them to play the game, which should be the goal of wargaming. Playing the game comes first rather than earning money from the game. And if that is not an honest testament to gaming in general, then reevaluating your motto for this game should probably come first. That the contract systems, I kind of dislike it in a sense. I know some people really enjoy having the ability to, hey, if I don't have this tech tree grinded out, then I gotta go and grind it out to do the specific part of the contract. I'm a little bit against that. I don't necessarily like being forced to use a specific nation or a specific tank to complete an objective. It feels like if you had just left it to where, hey, acquire this, do this specific mission, however much it takes, but do it in your own unique way. Don't be tied to this specific nation. However, again, being that they're parts from different nations, kind of plays into the whole reason you play the nations that you do for that contract. But I kind of feel like it also restricts being able to diversify how players can, again, make that contract be complete. You could get someone completely ridiculous coming up with a way to complete a contract, and just someone who is like, I know exactly what I need to finish this contract and what I can use. But again, I guess it kind of helps for them to limit, or I guess raise the difficulty bar into kind of earning your way through a tank line in order to get to that specific requirement for that contract. However, this kind of backfires because even though they're giving you a specific challenge, the ability to just skip it kind of just feel like a, hey, we know you're not spending money, we know you're wasting your time, or you feel like you might be wasting your time, how about you skip this phase? Kind of feels again like a cash grab along with the line, but it's not a bad thing where if a player gets stuck on a specific area or a specific part of the contract that just seems to be, getting at them, having the ability to skip through a phase is not a bad thing. But with the way it's currently structured, with being able to purchase it for gold and skipping through a phase with gold, it makes it feel like, again, a cash grab for the mercenaries. Shouldn't be what the target of this is. For those who are new players, again, the mercenary line is a great way for you to, a great end goal for you if you don't have any of the current tech trees researched. Hey, this mercenary tank will require me to have these nations researched to a certain tier. Let me go and grind those out myself. It kind of was supposed to incentivize players to do that. I don't necessarily know if it does. Again, my thing is let players do their own unique way of solving any task, and it kind of helps in keeping the community a little bit busy. Is like, hey, this person completed the contract this way, maybe I should try it that way. Well, this person over here completed the contract this way, maybe I should try that. It kind of feels like they restrict you, but again, that might just be something to increase the difficulty of just acquiring it. But again, kind of shoot yourself in the foot because you can just skip it and purchase it. And I always come back to that because I want that to be pretty much understood that should probably be removed as soon as possible. I hope that comes across in this video. I really do. I'm not trying to be a dick about any of this. I just wanted to give some personal opinions as well as some honest feedback for these tanks. Again, I enjoy the mercenaries. They're a great addition to the game. It's a foot in the right direction for World of Tanks console, but at the same time, the implementation of the way the mercenary tech tree is currently feels a little bit like not a little bit, it feels a lot like a letdown, more of a negative way, then it should have been positive. I know World of Tanks was really hyping up the Mercenaries, and I just want to ask the community, or for those of you that currently watch this video, how do you feel about it? Like, your honest opinions. Does it feel like, is it pay to win to you? Is the same way with just, again, the stuff that I've laid out. Is it pay to win to you, or do you feel like, again, having that ability just feels a little bit better for you to be able to just breeze on by to your very own tier 6, 7, and who knows? I don't know if all the other mercenaries are going to be purchasable. The ones that we currently have are. Will that be the case for all of them down the line? No, let's hope not. But how do you guys feel about it? And my only, again, opinion, my only feedback for Wargaming is this would have, again, been a great way to test out how does the community react to being able to use free experience for a tank, because we do not have that system in World of Tanks console at all. I'm not saying it's, hey, implement this because this is a cool idea because I have a bunch of free experience. No, it's, again, aimed for those players who are veterans that have majority of your lines, and should be a way for them to have new goals in the game to continue playing, as well as incentivizing newer players to play the game before they buy a tank. And just so we're clear, guys, this is the amount of convertible experience I have in this game. 17 million. That is a ridiculous amount that I don't convert because I play the game enough to earn free experience. Because, again, veteran play here, most players that have been playing the game for 4 years have either this amount, a little bit less if they use some of it to go through tank lines, or bulks more of convertible experience that they can use, which again cost golds. I can get 171,000 with the current gold I have, which gives me 213,000 in the end. Still spending real money here, but I don't have to if I have experience already in the game. So I hope this video comes across as being genuine and honest with you guys, as well as I hope Wargaming does take some kind of feedback from this. Again, that will probably be the title of the video, and not take this in any kind of me dictate what your game should be. Again, you guys are the developers, we're the players. However, honest feedback is always good feedback, in my opinion. And if nobody else in the community would like to address that, then I'll be happy to point out some of the stuff. I'm not telling you what to do with any of the other updates, because I'm pretty sure you heard about that in every weekly assault ever broadcasted. Hey, when are we going to get that update from PC? So that's it from me, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you made it all the way through the end, please leave some comments down below. Let's have a real discussion there. I really want some people to discuss this about, because again, it's just been on my mind since the update has been released, and I know that came across in my update 4.5 video, and I didn't want to drag it on because DWP was kind of seeming to feel a little bit uncomfortable. But again, separate video. Hopefully this kind of comes across a little bit more concerned about the game and not just trying to convince someone to change something because I don't like it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Again, leave some comments down below. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it, or if you agree with some of the thoughts. Leave a dislike and let me know if you disagree with what I'm bringing up or any of the statements that I made throughout this. Again, everything is perfectly or personally opinionated, and hopefully I can get some honest feedback from you guys as well in the community. Have a good night, everyone.